markets exist all over the world. Back in the 80s and 90s, information was key. Now it's a whole new game.
You think that you can just sweep this all under the rug? Just watch your back.
Ting is dead.
We create events.
A year to raise the money, a year to cast and crew, 30-plus days shooting across 3 countries, Hong Kong, New York, and Macau. A year and 3 months of post-production. 6+ years of hard work. In life, everyone has a dream, but nothing is certain. My name is Ting, and I'm here to tell you that nothing can stop you. To do that, you need to know 3 things: how to deal with risk, how to learn from rejection, and how to take action. So let's set the stage. I'm from New York. I grew up there. I went to college, and in my last year of college, I took an acting class, and I fell in love with it. Graduated from college, worked in actuarial science because I studied statistics. Switched over to technology, and then in New York, 9/11 happened. And it changed my outlook on life. It changed what I wanted to do and how I wanted to live. So I started pursuing acting with relative success. It was doing well. I started making money. I started getting cast, getting commercials, TV. But what I realized was achieving a level of success that I would be happy with was a lottery ticket. And so I quickly did the research to say, hey, I need to write that lottery ticket. And so I got into filmmaking. And then I started taking courses, how to edit, and making short films with my friends. And then I got the opportunity to move to Hong Kong or LA, and I chose Hong Kong. And fortunately, I got an opportunity to work at CNN as a producer. And it was great. It was one of the greatest things working there. But I felt like I was standing right next to my dream and saying, hey, how's it going? But not living it. So I left to work at another job where I had more personal time. And that's when I started writing scripts. The idea of super capitalists making a movie about finance in Hong Kong just seemed like the thing to do 1 year before the financial crisis. So let's fast forward. I wrote the script, and I was starting to get traction. I got some money. I got a cast. Linus Roach signed out. He's one of the first supporters from Batman Begins and Law & Order. But you know, when you start hitting milestones, you start getting pressure too. At first it was just an idea, but then when these things are actually happening, you start to feel the heat. And I felt the pressure of the idea of, 1, should I star in the movie that I had written? 2, making an English language movie out of Hong Kong. I had many industry from here telling me, oh, you should translate the film. And then people from Hollywood saying, oh, if you do these things, you'll do well. And then thirdly, I was making a movie called Super Capitalists independently for under $1 million US, and I hadn't nearly reached the target. So I'm playing basketball, and I go up for a rebound, and these 2 guys smash right into me, land on the floor, and one of the guys, he just crushes my leg, and I ended up tearing my ACL, and I ended up in the hospital, immobilized, devastated, angry, upset, frustrated. And you know, in Hong Kong, you know how it is, right? You got to walk around, and you got things going on, and I felt like, oh my gosh, my whole project is just going to fall apart. And the pressure just kept on mounting. And this guy, this pastor, he walks in to the room, and we start talking. And we start talking some more. And suddenly, I'm pouring my heart out to him. And I ask him, how can a nobody like me do something like this? And he says to me, see, I realized that I was my own worst enemy. That I was the one getting in the way, that I was the one creating the roadblocks. I was the one saying, no, you can't do it. So I decided to make some decisions. And one of the decisions I decided to make was, hey, I've done the work. I've written the script. I've done the planning. Now's the time to just get in the car and drive. And don't let anybody stop you. And so we did. And I kicked it off. And then the second thing is have a lot of fun. Enjoy the journey. And surround yourself with people who are just as passionate as you are. See, on our set, we had no egos. And the people that I chose to work with were not there because of their experience or their reputation, but it was more about loving what they wanted to do and really getting behind the mission and the objective. So, great. We actually, we shot the film and, walking on that tightrope, you think you're done. And all your friends think you're done too and ask you, when's it coming out? And so what I realized was, whoa, the journey has just started again. Reset. So what's the traditional method? Normally, indie filmmakers, what they do is they, the idea is to get into a film festival and then get a distributor. And that's what I thought. So I started putting it out there and sending it to festivals. And one after one, I started getting rejected. And that was hard. It was hard because we were getting good feedback, and I felt like we were so close, but it just wasn't happening. And I even went out on the road and said, hey, what's wrong here? What are they doing so that we can figure it out? And we got our last rejection from a major film festival, and I was devastated again. It was like I was laying in that hospital bed, immobilized, angry, frustrated, but I was so far in the journey. And then someone who I had handed a DVD to at Sundance, someone who works at the festivals, she emails me and says, hey, you got a great film. You got very strong performances, great production value. What you need to do is sell it. And I was like, what? That's so different from what I had been told, what I had been advised, everything that I had learned. It was like throwing it out the window and saying, you need to do this. And so, after all the rejection, what I realized, though, was I was given a path. And that path was to find that one yes. So it didn't matter what I had gone through, because if I peeled myself off the ground, which I did, I still had a chance. We still had a chance. So I went back to my roots. What was I talking about? Taking that step again, getting in the car. So without a deal in place, I got out there again. I said, we're going to launch this movie no matter what. And so we launched a trailer in March of last year in Hong Kong, just standing there naked. But you know what? People showed up. 500 plus people showed up on a very busy night, on a Wednesday night. And that meant going out there, set things in gear, set things in motion. And it really, when you take that step, you know how to take action because things become very clear to you. Versus if you just didn't take that step, all those unknowns can kind of throw you off. But once I took that step, it was amazing. And I knew what to look for. And so to put myself out there again, I approached a distributor in LA, and literally I said, hey, here we are, here's our movie. If you're interested, give us a call. And literally, a month later, after the event in April, we signed a deal and we got a US distribution deal. And the date was August 10th, 2012. And from there, from taking that step and moving on, things flowed. And people showed up again. And even more so, I made a very difficult decision. Should we show this to Hong Kong first? Even though we didn't have a Hong Kong deal, I felt really important that this movie was born in Hong Kong, that we should show it to the press, and they embraced it. So much so that we hit #1 thriller in Hong Kong on iTunes, and talked about our movie. And even more so, it created this momentum that allowed us that when we showed up in the States, it pushed our film forward, where we got written up in the New York Times 3 times, we were on CCTV. Business Insider picked us up. It was amazing, and it was something that I had never expected. It's something I just didn't even believe when I saw this. One of my friends from Cambodia told me that, hey, you're on the BBC. And it really hit me that we had spent 6 years from an idea to completing the movie and releasing the movie. So what I'd like to leave you with is, if you have a dream, think and know that you will have to deal with risk, that you will have to take rejection, and you will have to know how to take action. But if you take that first step and you carve your path, things will become clearer for you. You will know what to do. And know that nothing can stop you, not even yourself. Thank you.